Every day, businesses receive reviews on Google, Yelp, and TripAdvisor. Every unanswered reply is a missed opportunity, or worse, a public brand risk. At scale, writing thoughtful, consistent responses is nearly impossible without a system built for it. We built a 6-agent pipeline coordinated through Band. Monitor surfaces new reviews. Triage classifies sentiment and urgency. Research enriches with business context and brand voice. Drafter generates the response. QA scores it and loops back if it falls short. Escalation handles the cases that should never be auto-published. All 6 agents live in a shared Band room. Every handoff is a visible message, not a hidden API call. We can watch the coordination happen in real time. This is what multi-agent work should look like. A new review enters via our HTTP trigger. A routine complaint, 1 star, frustrated customer. Triage is the first agent to see it. It reads the content, detects no mention of illness, injury, or legal action, and classifies the urgency as high, not critical. That single classification determines everything that follows. Because the threshold for immediate escalation isn't met, Triage routes the review downstream for full research and drafting. Research picks it up next. It doesn't just forward the raw review text, it pulls in business context, past response patterns, category benchmarks, and the brand's own guidelines. In this case, the guidelines specify a warm tone with a formality score of 0.7, a set of keywords to include, and a list of phrases to actively avoid. Research packages all of this into what we call a research pack, structured context that gives the drafter everything it needs to write a response that actually sounds like the brand. That pack gets passed forward. Now the coordination showpiece. The drafter receives the research pack and generates its first candidate response. And here, it falls flat. The draft runs 179 words of corporate defensiveness. Phrases like, "Our policies do not allow us," and language that statistically contradicts the customer's experience. It reads like a legal disclaimer, not a human reply. QA receives this draft and scores it. The result is brutal, a score of 0.0. QA flags it on 3 counts. It deflects rather than acknowledges, it lacks any empathy, and it reads as highly defensive. Critically, QA doesn't just reject and stop. It generates detailed revision notes, specific, actionable guidance, and routes the draft back to the drafter for a second attempt. This is the loop, the part that makes the pipeline meaningful. The drafter reads the QA feedback, recalibrates, and produces a second draft. 42 words, warm, empathetic, with a clear action step for the customer. QA reevaluates. This time, every check passes. Score 1.0. Approved. The approved payload moves to the escalation agent, which in this pipeline acts as the terminal publisher node. Because QA passed and escalation is not required, escalation sets the status to published, logs it to the reviews database, and emits a final confirmation to the dashboard. No further message fires in the Band room, because the job is done. Every step of this loop was visible in the Band room. This is live agent reasoning, not a scripted single-shot output. Now let's look at a fundamentally different scenario. A 1-star review referencing a solicitor and a potential lawsuit. Triage reads it, detects legal keywords, and immediately flags urgency as critical. The flow short-circuits right there. Research is never called. The drafter never runs. QA never sees a draft. The pipeline exits at Triage and fires directly to escalation. This is intentional design. The moment legal language appears, a generative AI should never attempt a response. It might inadvertently admit liability or compromise a legal defense. By catching it at the first node, the alert fires instantly, with 0 wasted compute. The escalation agent responds. Severity high, hold for human review, no auto-publish. No response goes out without a person in the loop. This isn't a disclaimer, it's an architectural guarantee. 8 engineered seed scenarios cover the full range: happy path, routine complaint, context-dependent case, the QA revision loop, legal threat, food safety incident, media mention, and ambiguous mixed review. Every branch of the pipeline is exercised. Every edge case has a defined outcome. What's next? Live connections to Google Business Profile and Yelp APIs, a human approval gate for escalated cases, a richer brand voice research layer, and support for multi-location businesses. This is the foundation for production-grade review response at scale.